is not an ad for Gatorade, but in case anyone's fasting. Okay,
Yeah, exactly. Get your Powerade or Gatorade.
Right, but I did ask somebody, and they said that you could do electrolyte pills, which I think is better because all that sugar. And then it was say, oh, you can do the 0 or whatever the Powerade.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get all these lovely.
No, but they make these special pills right now that you can get at any pharmacy.
What are they called?
It's from Israel.
Tom
Lee. And you literally, they have for pregnant women. They have, hello, it works like a dream. Okay. I promise you, we use
We're there.
It's
okay, sorry. We're starting. This is Leah Richeimer for the Ladies Talk Show. This is a marriage minute. And we are, as you know, we're taking, or maybe you don't know, whatever, we're taking the summer off. It's awesome. It's happy. We're having happy time. We're doing lots of revamping. We just sent the wireframes of our, I know what that means, wireframes. See how whatever knowledgeable
how knowledgeable you became over this whole process.
So we sent the wireframes to the web designer, and it's in process. So hopefully we'll have it soon. Okay, I want to talk about. I actually had a very, very serious student serious conversation with a student this week. It's a very heavy-duty topic, so I'm taking this light, happy summer thing, and I'm bringing it down a little bit heavy-duty. But okay, that's where we are. I had the conversation yesterday with one of my students called me, and here's the thing. It's a woman who I never met before, so I don't know, all of the little subtleties, but we did have a reasonably deep conversation, as it always turns out when they're on the phone with me. I don't know how we go deep so fast, but we do. What her issue is that she and her husband are constantly bickering, constantly at each other, like this, bickering. And she said, Leah, I said, give me an example. She said, I'm embarrassed to give you an example because they are so stupid. It's just completely idiotic, the things that we fight about. But it's constant. It's like there's nothing that happens during our moment-to-moment life that is not a bicker. And she said, and the reason I'm calling you, and this is very big, this is big of her, I'm like really impressed. The reason I'm calling you is I know it's my fault. I had a terrible role models of my parents. They're still married, but terrible role model. Like they fought constantly. And as a kid, I'm like, I'm never going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to bicker. I'm not going to be, I don't want this daily life where the tension you could cut with a knife constantly. Constant tension in the house. And does anyone relate to this? Oh, I'm supposed to say that thing you said I'm supposed to say. What is it? Like us or something, whatever.
Subscribe. Like
no.
Us,
if you have the same thing, because a lot of people have this.
Issues,
well, maybe they're afraid to put a heart because then it tells.
No, they can't. Just put on hearts. We know we all have this.
Yes. Okay. Hello. Thank you. Gosh. Anyway, the thing is that this bickering, constant bickering. What can I do? I want to stop it now. There's the slow train to China, and there's the Learjet to China, or the fast track. You know what I mean?
There's a train to China?
Does anyone want to know? Actually, is there a train to China? I think of it, actually. No, but I mean, you know what I mean? Like you can go, the center of the earth, whatever. There are things you can, all we want to do, we want to be the best people we can be. Like who volunteers, by show of hands, who volunteers to spend the next 2 years suffering through bickering? No. How about 5 years? Like not happening, right? We want to solve it. Everything takes time, but there's little things we can do and big things that we do. And what we want to do is maximize the effect we can have. So I said, listen, I'm going to outline for you a plan of action. Try this at home, okay? I'm going to outline this for you. And as much of these things that you do, the faster, the better things will go. If you do one of these things, you'll make progress. You do 2 of them, you'll make more progress. You do all 5, you're good. So what are those things? Bickering. Number 1, the difference between knowledge and insight is knowledge is you have information, right? And it might be good, but then you have to do, certain things. I have to think of that example I thought of before. But inspiration is like once you know it, your actions are different. So you have somebody who, they keep knocking at the door and banging at the door, and you're like, oh, what does she want again or whatever? And they ask you, oh, when's your birthday? And you give them the birthday. And then they come back a little, what's this? And they keep bothering you, right? If someone says, by the way, they're planning a surprise birthday party for you. That's an insight. That's an insight that means that your interaction with them is going to be totally different. Is it going to be hard work for you to give them now all the information they want and answer the door every time they knock it? No, it's not going to be hard work. Okay, so we're looking for insights. So here's an insight about bickering. The insight about bickering is seems fairly obvious, right? It's about being right. He's right or she's right. And we always want to be right. That's how we're born. That's the human condition. I want to be right. Everybody wants to be right. Okay, and it's also very, aside if we didn't have that inner drive to be right, it's everywhere you look. The person who's right is the one who's winning, the one who's succeeding in life. It's very, very, the media and everything we read and learn says that if you're right, things go better for you. You get more money, you get more things if you're right. It's a lie. It's not true. Being right, it might mean that, look, you bought the right insurance and that was the wrong insurance, so it will make your life better to put in your effort. By the way, we can do all the effort we want. If it's not blessed by God himself, it ain't happening. It's just not happening. So if you want it to be blessed by God and you want to have peace in your life, you go for something far more important than being right, and that's going for peace. So the insight that I wanted her to understand, I wanted her to understand at a deep level, no matter whether she is right about the facts that she's fighting over or whether she's wrong, she's wrong in any case. In other words, even if she's right, she's wrong because she's not going for peace. And she's miserable, and her husband's miserable. And her husband said to her, let's have friends over. She said, no, let's just be together. He goes, I actually rather have friends over because when friends are here, I feel like we get along better.
Yeah, when friends are here, you're nicer because everyone plays the game.
Everyone.
I
thought that was
better
so sad.
Behaved.
Like he would rather be with other, whatever, this is his own wife. And I said, this is not sustainable. Here's the thing about Bickering. It's got to be a cold turkey thing. So when you're quitting smoking, best way to do it, this is, I don't know, maybe science will prove me wrong, but a lot of, whatever I've read about it is cold turkey is the best way, like easing off and I'm going from 10 cigarettes down to 5 or whatever. Doesn't work. The most powerful way to ease off of smoking cigarettes is to go cold turkey. Food is impossible to do that with because you got to still eat. So going off of, going less, decreasing food is much harder than going cold turkey on, actually, I'm not an expert at this, so I'm really just saying hearsay of articles that I've read and research studies that I've looked at, because I wanted to see if you can stop something like smoking and overeating and, whatever other various things, addictions perhaps, if you can stop that, what is the strength that stops a woman or a man from bickering? What inner strength does it take to just cold turkey? That's it, like zero tolerance. I'm not bickering anymore. So what that would look like is the husband says, he takes out the fish. Oh, here's the stupid mayonnaise you bought, the wrong brand. You're like, whatever. You don't say, no, it's the right brand. I like that better. Oh, my family likes it better too. I'm not saying they're arguing over stupid things, but she did say there were such, so embarrassing. She didn't want to tell me what they are. But these are things people fight about. So you have the guy, he says, oh, hey, I'm taking out the stupid brand of mayonnaise and we don't have the right mayonnaise. And instead of saying that is the right mayonnaise, you just say, what would you say?
Okay, I'll buy
You'd
two breasts.
say
I'll try
nothing.
Nothing. You said nothing.
No, I'm telling you, that was a big problem of mine because automatically someone says something and I'm not saying it just because I'm trying to prove them wrong. I'm just sharing like a different take of it or my opinion, and automatically my husband would think that I'm saying what he's saying is wrong and combating him, and it was true because sometimes it would. Many times it was contradicting.
Many times.
All the time. Whatever.
Many times.
Okay, Lish, do not share my secrets. But many times it was, and many times I was just sharing something, but it was not just accepting what he was saying. Mm-hmm. And I literally said to him one day, I said, you know what? At this meal today, at our Shabbos meal, I said, I'm not going to talk. And I don't want you to point it out, meaning I don't want you to say, hey, Sarit, like, what's going on, or make a big deal out of it. Know that I'm doing it because I realized I don't have a block filter, and the minute I start sharing, it turns into something else. So I'm just going to be quiet, and I'll nod to everything that's being said. I'll nod, and I'll smile, and I'll serve. And he's like, really? Like, what? He was so... And I said, please, just allow me that, because I'm not ready to be able... And it really... I needed fantastic. To do like I
You
need
hear
it
this,
to- yeah.
ladies? This is like standing O material.
No, yeah, like just
I mean,
just
like,
don't
that's
talk.
awesome.
Just
Yeah.
nod. He says something and you nod.
Yeah,
and
you
smile.
nod. You nod and
Yeah.
smile. So bickering is a very big challenge, and it's hard to bite your tongue and to not speak. Here's the good news. It only takes one time for you to see the fruits of your labor. Not necessarily that he's going to get it right away or think that there's something wrong with you right away. I mean, like he may not even register. He may not even notice. But there's something that happens to you inside when you zip your lip. There's a power. You feel like you've got self-mastery. You feel like you're stronger. That is more precious than gold. So that's the first thing, is to just zip the lip. Oh, we need a zipper.
No, you have to get zipper. Where's your duct tape, Leah?
Oh, hello.
Pink duct tape. We even have ladies talk show duct tape. We're going to be including that. We're going to sell these. We're going to include them with every book
it has
purchase.
To have a little logo, you know.
Yeah,
like
exactly,
the ladies talk show logo.
yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
fine.
Yeah, the
Okay,
husbands
so
would
fine.
love that.
Anyway,
Like,
that's it.
I'm wearing my ladies talk show like duct tape.
Okay, we're on. Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. Okay, that's our next $1 million idea. Okay,
Yes.
So that was the first thing. Is wearing the duct tape. That's going to be very crucial. The second thing I said to her, I said, listen. Because I said, are you in therapy for it? I mean, if they're she said, not a day goes by that there isn't this kind of tension. I said, are you working, did you go to see a therapist? And luckily she said, yes. Do you know how many women I asked, are you going to therapy? And they said, my husband won't. Right? And if that's the case, a woman should go to a therapist and get the therapist to teach them how to get their husband to therapy, perhaps, and maybe it's a different therapist or something like that. You have to work on that. But anyway, her husband's going to therapy with her. But what they're covering in there, and then one thing she said in the therapy session, she said it, and then her husband used it against her. You understand what I'm saying? Like she said, well, the reason I do that is because my mother used to do this. So then in life, in reality, she's sitting there saying, saying something, whatever, because you're just saying it because your mother said, and so that's a big danger. Not because he's mean. Her husband's not mean. She was very upset about this. It's not that her husband's mean. He just doesn't get it. It's like, as a man, that would be acceptable behavior, like, hey, your socks smell. They say that to each other without,
right.
If my husband said that to me, whatever, I'm like, hello.
No, and he thinks he's pointing it out to her as what she's shared with him is
right. Yeah,
is
fresh fodder. Is what do you call it? Is okay because
Yeah.
she brought it up. But
Yeah.
no, wrong timing, wrong thing. Not for him to say. It's fine for her to say it. Like that. So he doesn't get that. So she's having a hard time trusting the environment that they're in therapy, and which I said she needs to discuss in therapy. But meanwhile, if she wants the slow train to China or the long train, whatever, keep, she can go that route. If she wants to nip this bud, enough bickering, no bickering, end. We're done. Get into therapy herself. So they've got their group therapy. She's got to think, this can be expensive. You have to, hopefully you can find some learning program or something where you can get it cheaper. There's things that are subsidized by charities and various things, whatever. Even if it's not affordable, get a friend or a coach or, all of these things can be expensive except friends. Well, maybe friends are expensive. I don't know. That's another conversation. But anyways, the point is that she needs to work that through in her. What are the things that trigger her? What are the things from her childhood that she maybe can jettison? Now, here's my take on therapy, is that it can be so powerful, but when you walk into a therapist, you need to say something like, listen, here's the one thing I want to accomplish, or the three things I want to accomplish, and here's my time frame. I'm thinking if we can wrap this up in 3 months, maybe 4 months. The therapist might say, this is big, deep issues. I think we need 6 months. And okay, none of this like 5 years of therapy. Maybe it's good, and maybe for some severe cases or abuse or, I don't know. I'm not an expert in this, but I'm just saying for the average person who's got an issue that they want to work through, rather than, they keep putting it off for years and years because they think it's going to be a 3-year thing. If you walk in and you say, listen, here's the issue. My husband and I bicker all the time. I know it's what I saw. In my heart of hearts, as the words, this is what she said to me, as the words, Leah, are coming out of my mouth, I'm saying, I wished I wasn't saying them. And she's still saying them. Let's get that handled. Okay. Another thing. Journal. So this is the third tip we're talking about. The journal. getting yourself, and get a pretty one. Get a pink or turquoise or purple. Those are my colors, whatever. Maybe yours is lavender or olive or whatever.
Gold and white.
Gold and white. There you go.
And black.
Okay, fine. And black. Okay, fine. Right. Okay, so classy ladies. So get yourself a notebook or find an app on the phone. There's plenty of different things you can find. And start writing down some of the things. Like I said to her, what are your goals for the next 6 months? Well, I want to stop bickering. Well, let's flesh it out a little bit. In your journal, you would write, I want to have better control of myself, better self-mastery over myself. I want to be able to control what's coming out of my mouth. I want to be able to appreciate my husband for who he is so that I see his good points in front of me all the time, not his bad points in front of me all the time, et cetera, et cetera. Write them down, because I'll tell you what happens. In a moment of strength, we're women. We have strengths. They come and they go, like the way, in a moment of strength, when you're writing down what it is that you need, and you write it down, you get it down crystal clear. Okay, now, when you're in a weaker moment, and you're mad at your husband, and you're upset about your life, and you're feeling lonely, or you're feeling upset about something, you open the journal and you're like, that's who I was. I can be there again. Like trying to say, oh, I wished I could be like this. Here, you see, with a witness with your own eyes, you wrote this. You put down who you wanted to be, what your goals were. Now, if you're feeling really depressed and you look at that, you're going to feel like, oh, I'll never get it done. I can't do it. So you have to manage yourself. Then for those times when you're just like, looking at that can provide you a great deal of strength. Also, the other thing is 6 months from now, from then, hence, for 6 months later, when you're looking back at your journal and you're like, oh my gosh, I got that one. It's very empowering. Okay, let me see if there's anything else about how not to fight. So cold turkey. The other thing is, one of the things I said, listen, I hear that there's a lot of tension in the marriage. When are the good times? And she said, what do you mean? I said, do you ever tell him I love you, you mean so much to me, you're my best friend. I wished we didn't bicker all the time. I feel bad about my part that I'm putting into it. Do you ever tell him that? And she said, no, you don't get it. My mother was not the she was not a huggy person, and she was not a person who communicated her emotions or her feelings. I'm just not capable of that. I said, you're challenged with that. She said, okay, I'll buy that. I'm challenged with that, okay? But the issue is that for someone like that, if you find yourself in that situation, get yourself some, I'm a big index card person, right? So get yourself some pink ones and write on there, dear hubby, I love you so much. Dear hubby, put his name, whatever it is. I just want you to know sometimes I have a hard time expressing it, but I really do love you. You really mean the world to me. I'm sorry for yesterday, whatever happened. If you have a hard time apologizing, do it on a pink index card. Hand it to him. So when I told her that, she goes, Leah, that I could do. She was very excited about it. I said, listen, do me a favor. Email me later and tell me how that went. But the most important thing, to take care of bickering, make it your priority. It has to be cold turkey. Cold turkey. Get yourself the support you need, whether it's a therapist, whether it's a rebbitzin or a rabbi or a clergy person who can be there for you and you can talk it out and work it out and figure out what actions can I take to make this better. I see every time when he comes home from work, we're at each other. What can I do at those times? Okay. Oh, you mean my phone goes off during that time so that I'm not distracted? Oh, you mean I can get a massage before at 4:00 in the afternoon. He comes home at 6. Whatever. That would be lovely if you figure out how to do that. Send me the link. No, but anyway, the thing is that make this a priority, and with the right amount of planning, this can really be solved. And good luck to the student yesterday who called me. Thank you very much for the question. I think a lot of people deal with a bickering issue, so I appreciate you bringing it up, and let us know how you did.
Yeah, and by the way, I appreciate this Marriage Minute, because I promise this would have been me calling you on this question, so I feel like there's somebody else out there. I'm not alone.
Okay,
somebody's in the same boat.
That's
no,
it.
But
so
thank God we're...
Anyway, Thank you, ladies, very much for being here today. We will see you soon. And what am I supposed to say now? Oh, yeah.
Yes, we're looking for you.
Okay, we need people for my Get Real. We have a show called Get Real with Leah, okay? And what that is where you come on the show. You're complete. We'll send you a picture of this synthesizer thing we have with all these buttons. Really, it's got 50 buttons on it, and it makes your voice, instead of talking like this, you're talking like
you're
whatever.
masked.
Yeah,
You just
you're
sound
masked.
different.
You sound different.
Not
You're
like a chipmunk. You sound just a
also
different person.
You sound like witness protection.
Yeah, well, sometimes you sound deeper.
Anyway, when you sound deeper,
yeah.
whatever. So nobody can tell who you are.
Yeah.
I did ask this. I did it on Sarit and then played it
Yes.
back, and I said, "Can you? It's a lady from our class. Do you know who it is? You know, from one of the people we used to get. I used to teach a class. And do you know who it is?" And she said, "No. Is it Betsy? No. Is it Sarah? No. It's you, Sarit." She's like, "No." You can't even tell it's your own self. And Sarit has a very distinctive voice, so that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what you do is
says
you
it
come
all.
on the show, whatever issues you have, it's a free session with Leah. There you go. You have whatever issue it is you come on the show and you and I talk about it. I do schmooze with my person first so that you and I can get to know each other and whatever, and some details, we go over first, whatever. And then you come on the show and everybody gets to hear what the issue is. And here's the beautiful thing about it. When you're seeing somebody who is struggling with something so deeply and so hard, and they're working through it and coming out the other side and inspired and have action plans and are motivated, there is nothing more motivating in the whole world than watching someone be a hero. And that's what that's about.
And by the way, Leah, that's exactly, before you just said get a therapist or a friend or whatever, this
Or
is an
call
easy
Leah.
call Leah. Getting on the Get Real show
That's
means
true.
you get
That's right.
like I've heard you talking to some people for a good 3 hours sometimes.
okay.
If you have
Never
to
mind.
never mind. Yeah, maybe no, but no. You really flesh out their problem,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
they get on the show and they get to get practical tools
Yeah.
to deal with it. So it really is.
It's really powerful. That's a great point, actually.
Yes, you
so
should add
here's
that.
what you
Get on
do.
the show.
You just go to info@ladiestalkshow.com. That's the web. That's the
Correct. Or DM us on Instagram
Yeah.
and Facebook. We will get that also.
Thanks everybody for being here. We'll see you soon. Be well.